Hi, I'm Sean Lean. I'm the President of the Legislative Council in the Victorian Parliament. I'm here to give you an update of this week's sitting week. 2 pieces of legislation was passed through this council and now waiting royal assent from the Governor. Those 2 bills are the Building and Planning Legislation Bill and also the Racing Amendment Bill 2022. The Racing Amendment Bill went through what we call a committee stage. A committee stage is an opportunity for every Member of Parliament in this chamber to ask questions clause by clause of the intent of the bill to a minister. That went through and eventually was passed. There was 2 bills introduced that went through the Legislative Assembly, the Health Legislation Amendment Bill and the Human Sources Management Bill, and that will be debated in the next sitting week. Another thing that occurred in this chamber was 5 of the newly elected members did their first speech. We call this usually the inaugural speech, and the inaugural speech is done during the debate in reply to the Governor's speech, which she makes on the opening day of Parliament. One thing that's quite important about the inaugural speeches as well is that a lot of stakeholders and individuals that will meet an MP will read an MP's first speech to see what that MP is interested in, what drives that MP. So they've got a bit of an insight before they actually meet that MP to advocate what they want to advocate for. We had a number of items in general business that was debated quite passionately by all the members of this council. There was passed notices of motion for references to go to an inquiry to 2 different upper house committees, the Environment and Planning Committee and the Economy and Infrastructure Committee. Both have new references. They will bring in witnesses, get expert opinion, and they will produce a report that will be tabled in Parliament and made public on those references that were passed from this motion. I made a statement which was unanimously supported by all the members and staff of the Legislative Council, a condolence motion for what is an absolute human tragedy that's been unfolding in Turkey and Syria in recent weeks. We've got a condolence book that will be available at the Parliament for people to sign. During the sitting week, outside this chamber, in the parliamentary precinct, there is dozens of events that are put on. There's community groups, non-for-profit groups, cultural groups that have events in the Queen's Hall. MPs bring in guest speakers to be able to, experts on a number of different topics, to speak to MPs and their staff to advocate for better policy. One of these events that was organised by Marie Edwards, the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, was a group called HALT, which is short for Hope Assistance for Local Tradies. HALT is a national grassroots suicide prevention charity which really target how to speak peer-to-peer about assisting a friend in that industry that may be going through a hard time. And being a tradie myself a long time ago, I felt a privilege to be at that event. We're back here in a couple of weeks, and after that sitting week I'll give you another update.